Over the past months, we've seen numerous security summits at the federal, regional and state levels, including the recent Northern Governors and Traditional Rulers meeting in Kaduna State. Now, from suspending illegal mining to creating a 228 billion naira security trust fund and pushing for state policing, these gatherings have produced several communiques. Yet, the present question remains, are these initiatives translating into real improvements on ground, or are they largely symbolic? Now, to help us explore this critical issue, we have two experts joining us today. Now, in the studio, we have Bappa Waziri, a security analyst with extensive experience in national and regional security matters. And joining us later on via Zoom from Maiduguri is Dr. Abdulrahman Hamisu, a public affairs commentator, security expert, and lecturer in political science at the University of Abuja. Together, they'll help us unpack the effectiveness of these summits and what needs to be done to improve Nigeria's security landscape. Thank you for joining us, Bappa Waziri, this morning.
Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, let's start off with an overview of what is going on at this point when it comes to insecurity. We can understand that the current state of national security in Nigeria, especially in the north, where kidnappings and banditry and school attacks have surged recently, and these attacks are more widespread now, or concentrated in specific areas. But a lot of Nigerians are saying, how come it is still going on and becoming even worse? So can you give us a little when it comes to explaining how come we are still at this point that instead of it being doused down, it is surging?
Yeah, actually, I think the best thing is that they have a target. Maybe they are afraid the Americans may come in any time, any moment, with making noise, come and make noise and maybe threaten them. So they want to get to their own target. So that's why they are rushing. That's why it is escalating. Because many people have a target. They have their own different targets. They want to reach that target. What is the target? What can they get economically from those communities? That's the target. They're not after anything other than the resources these people have within the community. In the land, in the water, wherever they have. All they can take, how long will it take them? Within the shortest possible time, what quantity they can take off. That's it. That's just it. But apart from that, I don't think there is any need for this escalation. But the people that have the people in authority are the ones escalating this thing. You cannot deploy 1,000 policemen in a place and you say this thing will escalate. It won't. It won't. When you deploy maybe 5 or 10 policemen, people feel threatened. They will not do anything. They will run away. But when you don't deploy anybody, you bring in more criminals. How can it not escalate?
Now, we've seen a lot of discussions when it comes to these summits on insecurity, when it comes to states, regional, as well as national, but we never ever see it translate into anything tangible. Why do you think that is so?
Well, actually, for our own, I don't think we need any security summit in Nigeria to solve our security problem. Let me give you two examples. The first one was the most trying period in Nigerian history after the Civil War was the June 12th crisis. That was when a governor was invited for a meeting by the president. The governor said he will not attend the meeting. That's a secession. And I think most of all labor unions, all trade workers, all trade unions decided to go on strike, including government workers. They shut down. In fact, I lost my 1 month salary during that June 12th crisis. I lost my salary for a month. It was September 2003. I lost my salary. I couldn't collect up to today. I couldn't collect that money. And he's still paying me. But there was no summit. What is June 12th today? Because we had a president that has the country at heart. He took a decisive action. I think that speech is still in everybody's memory. When he shut down, paying us on Labour Congress, whatever it is, he shut everything, appointed solemn status. Since then, have you ever heard anything about June 12th again? They are only talking about June 12th today. When we had Metasine earlier on, before the June 12th crisis, Metasine almost took over the whole of Kano State. What happened? Was there any summit? There was no summit. Only a drastic action by the president. I think the head of state just gave an instruction. Go and clear these people. And within a week, Kano was free.
So are you saying
that... The same thing happened in Adamawa, Borno, and Gombe. In less than 1 week, they were all cleared. So why are we talking about summit? What is summit? Are we collaborating to do one thing? We're not doing anything. Any governor, you don't need to cross to other state. Just secure your own table. If you secure this table, nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen in your own, what do you call it, territory. But unfortunately, you call people for summit, you go there, you waste people's money. Just take our money, go and spend it somewhere. Naming, giving them allowances for a meeting. Which meeting? Do we require this meeting? We don't need that meeting, to be honest with you. We don't need it.
So are you saying that, these summits are not needed? Because based on what we have seen with the one that was recently held by the Northern Governor, one of the attractive things there is the creation of a regional 228 billion naira security trust fund. I mean, when you hear that, you'll be excited to know that these governors are coming together to put in funds, which has always been one of the major issue for them when they want to make these implementations. To be honest with
you, I think they are not satisfied with what they are stealing. There is something they call security vote, which is illegal. It's illegal as far as I'm concerned. But when you have time, I'll give you the details why I said it's illegal.
Okay.
Because these are things that they give out. When you visit your brother or anybody that knows you as a governor, will decide to give you a car, give you 10 million, and that is security vote. Do we need that? And now they want to bring it in a big form that all the government should contribute so that they will be sharing among themselves. They take government money. You claim maybe it's legally contributed to that pool. Then they share it among themselves. Do they have one security organization that they fund? They don't. And they don't need that. Why you need a security summit, it's just like a region. West Africa, we have a problem. Nigeria, Chad, Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, all of these West Africa can come together. We have criminals around this area. When we pursue them from here, they may run into your own country. So we need you to block this area. Then when you block this, then we kill them in the same area, or we arrest all of them so that we silence the whole thing. But when you are in a state that is somehow, you are claiming to be independent, that you don't want anything or anybody to come into your state because you are the governor, Alpha and Omega, then what do you need what do you need your neighbor? You don't need anybody to do it because you don't command a police constable. No governor can command a police constable to do anything, to clear off anybody. Then what do you need security for?
All right, do you think that these summits continue because nobody is holding them accountable for what is going on, as well as those funds being spent, and those declarations that are made at the summit are not being followed through?
The most unfortunate thing is that the laws we have in this country are so vague. It's not meant for us. It's just meant for people to be cheating us and taking our, Commonwealth away. There is no way you can sit as a governor, leave your state. Maybe let me say Taraba, Borno or Adama from the far, come to Kaduna, sit down in a meeting, just take a cup of tea. They pay your allowances, live in a hotel, go back, fly. You charter an aircraft from anywhere and go back. How much did you waste? When you channel that money in a community, they can give you reliable information that there are bandits around. You can get that information, you can get these people arrested. And even the community can mobilize them.
Well, according to reports, most of the governors know who are doing all these dealings.
So what are they doing?
Well, I'm posing this question. So how come if they know these people, they are still allowed to carry out all their dealings?
They are all part of it. The governors, the traditional rulers are part and parcel of the problems we're having in this country. There is nobody can come into, let me call Kaduna is here, or Nasarawa. I want a license to go and do mining. The state government must know who you are. They will approve before the Ministry of Environment, can give you a license. When you are cleared, you've given a license. When you go there to the community, the people of the community will know you. And one good thing with us in Nigeria is that when you see somebody, the first thing is reported to their village head. When they report, the village head will take it up to the district head. The district head will take it to the second class or first class emir, whoever. Then ultimately, the emir will go back to the governor. The governor will say, yes, we gave approval and allow them to do whatever they are doing.
But then at this point, do you think the point they made of halting any mining activities is in the right direction?
Well, actually, if they don't control the miners, if they don't, this thing will not stop. But if they are the real criminals controlling the miners, then it will stop tomorrow. Let's wait and see. It's a matter of time. To be honest with you, they may not come out openly to be doing this, but their hands are in it.
So talking about this security summit, and you being of the opinion that these summits we don't really need it. So Why are you saying that? And what are really the factors that are limiting this security summit from, coming out to play in total reality? Because when you hear these conversations that they have during the summit, in your head, you're like, oh, brilliant ideas. If we can be able to do this, then I think at the end of the day, we'll be able to solve the issues that we're having.
Let me tell you, all of these things they're saying there, all the governors can do it individually in their own states. Because I can stay in my state, I'll make sure that I provide. They are recruiting people. I think we have what you call the Hizba group in what do you call it in Kano? What do you call them? I think I forget the name. We have Castelia in Kaduna.
We have Karota as well in Kano.
Whatever, yeah. All of these groups that they have, if you can fund them and make sure that you give them that assignment to do it, they will do it for you diligently. You don't need anybody from any other state to come and help you.
So this brings us to the matter of state policing. Do you think that it is necessary?
We don't need state police.
Why?
By the time we establish a state police in this country, that will be the beginning and the end of Nigerian democracy. As we are going now, our democracy is at danger. It's at very risk. The risk is about 70-80% of being collapsed. When we bring in state police now, the next thing is, this man is an opposition. Go and take him in his house, kill him. That one will come. Because these criminal governors, I call them criminals, are in hesitation because I know what they're doing. These people can send somebody to your house to go and kill you. Because we know many people that were killed. A lot of people that were killed by the government, state killing. We know that.
So you think there will be an extension of abuse of power?
Of course, abuse of power, serious one. They will eliminate a lot of people, innocent people, just because they oppose them. Just because they oppose them.
Okay, go ahead. Since we're looking at possible solutions in how to solve the security challenges we're having of recent, the president just spoke about the security guards, but we know that forest guards. But we know that we've had the forest guards since from a long time ago. Yes, but then for me, I just feel it's a way of waking them up or restructuring. But do you think we really need that?
They're no more there. We need it actually. We need it in terms of, actually, what are they going to do for now? What are they? Because we used to have these cattle routes, the forest, this deforestation. So these people are there to protect the forest, make sure they protect the wildlife in the forest and whatever. But do we have all of those things now? Do we need that? We don't need that. All we need is to give more manpower to the police, to the army, to the civil defense. I think civil defense can solve all of our problems. Civil defense that you're seeing them as a small and very unorganized, they will solve the whole 95% of Nigeria's security problem. They can solve it. Because we don't need people with heavy arms to go and fight. We don't need. All we need is information, authentic information, and nip them.
But we do get this information.
Exactly. Do you think that the DSS is not providing enough information
we have had a guest on the show that would boldly tell you that they know these people. Experts will come out to say that they know these people and they get information
and the federal
on a daily. And the federal government is not doing anything.
Let me give you a reaction of the president. That's to confirm to you that we are just wasting our time. The president said, despite all information, those girls were abducted. I think we said it here, my last program here, when those KB girls were abducted. The president confirmed. I said there was enough information. And the president confirmed to us that yes, despite all this information, those girls were abducted. What did he do as the chief security officer of the country? What did he do?
All right, let us take our other guest, Dr. Abdulrahman Hamisu, a public affairs commentator, security expert, and lecturer in political science at the University of Abuja. He'll be joining us via Zoom. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. At this point, we've been discussing on the recent security summit that happened in Kaduna, and our guest right here, we posed a question to him, and he said that meeting was not needed. I would like to get your take on this. Do you think that at this point, is this what Nigeria needs, or the northern region needs to have a security summit where a discussion of a trust fund for the north in order to tackle insecurity as well as state policing, and aside from that, halting, the mining activities to curb insecurity, banditry, and terrorism in the north? What is your take on it?
All right. Thank you very much for your question. I think it is not wrong that they decided to come together to talk. It is right that when there's a problem, people could come together to share their thoughts, especially the fact that insecurity is all over the north. To say that they should not come together to talk is to say that we're not interested in even allowing them to exhibit their knowledge or their ignorance or their shenanigans. So for me, it's quite germane that they came together, and it is good that they did what they did, which is why we're having this conversation. Assuming if they never came together to have such as a summit or whatever they call it, won't be seated here trying to understand what they want to do. Having said that, the only thing that I want to see is not about the talking, it's not about the communicate, is about action and sincerity of purpose. What used to happen is not...
mention, you just called it a shenanigan, but at the end of the day, we've seen these type of summits happen and nothing has materialized. So do you think at this point something would come out of this?
Yes, yes, that is the point I'm coming to. You see, in governance, there is always a time for plan or planning, and then a certain time for action. And action, reaction, review, action, reaction, review is what used to define every policy cycle. So when you sit and you itemize issues, it is not the end. That is just the starting point. Now, the end is achieving the objectives, which is stopping insecurity in the north. So if you have a talk show that gives you media visibility, after which you go back to your government houses and then you forget about the action points you've reeled out yourself, then it will be as it used to be in Nigeria. We're on top of the situation and the situation is deteriorating. So it becomes what? It becomes deception. So what we want to see is not about talk shops, but more of actions that will address our issues. And let me say this, wherever there is corruption, wherever there is lack of accountability, people will do what they like. And if that is the situation, the citizens will be helpless because they will have nothing to hold on to. So what you'll be seeing is just a media show, press releases, photo ops, summit that will yield nothing, and then billions are going down the drain, and we're not seeing anything. So when you mix inaction with abuse, with corruption, with lack of accountability, what you find is a deteriorating situation. But they will continue to tell us they're on top of the situation. They will budget money. They will take a huge sum as a security vote because nobody audits security votes in this country. And security vote has become a conduit pipe for siphoning huge resources at the expense of security. You look at our police, you look at our civil defense, you look at the military, you wonder where all of these monies are going to, because nobody is asking questions. So if you ask questions, you become a target. So people are afraid to talk. So we are done with, I agree with my brother in the studio, we are done with summit. We don't need summit. We all know what the problems are. The question now is, how do we solve the problem? So if you're not giving us how in action, then you are giving us how on paper. I will feel that you are not serious. You are just grandstanding. You don't want to solve the problem.
So since we're talking about summit, meetings, discussions, of course, when there are issues like this, you know, people come to the table to have these conversations. I mean, we're talking about the insecurity issue that we're having in Nigeria, and most of these governors have fallen victims, you know, communities in that state are falling victims. And if, you know, as an individual governor, you don't have maybe the know-how, you know, you could seek an opinion from another state governor or your colleagues to be able able to, give you more advice or more idea on how to tackle these issues. But then when we look at the summit, we get a lot of very good results coming out in terms of the ideas, these initiatives, and the reforms that they would want to put in check. But in assessing those summits, how can we say that at the end of the day, a particular summit that was being held is going to be successful? Is it based on the fact that, okay, a community has been signed or an agreement for a trust fund has been agreed on, that, funds should be channeled to a particular account to help, solve the issues that we're having? How can we identify a successful summit at the end of the day?
You see, when you look at that very particular summit, you know that it's just another talk shop. It is another summit that is meant to convince Northerners that something is being done. If you ask me, the kind of summit we should be having is a summit that will learn from successful solutions that have been implemented to tackle insecurity in Nigeria or elsewhere. I give an example. If you really want to learn about how to solve a problem of insecurity in this country, I think Borno State has a model where the youth came together under civilian JTF, and they led the process, and then the Nigerian Army followed, because they were the people that knew the training ground. They know the terrain very well. So they were the people that were leading the Nigerian military from one point to the other, to the extent that they were able to dislodge Boko Haram from the Borno State capital into the fringes of Sambisa. And that was how Borno was liberated from Boko Haram. Previously, Boko Haram was in Maiduguri, the metropolitan capital of Borno State. The youth came together, and then they worked together with the Nigerian military, with their traditional institution. In today, we don't have Boko Haram in Maiduguri. That is one. Secondly, in Borno, in Yobe State, the state governor worked together with the vigilantes, and these vigilantes became the focal persons that were providing peace and stability, and they worked with the military to chase away Boko Haram from Damaturu, which was the state capital. And up to today, the state capital and other local government became safe. This is another model. In Adamawa State, the state government worked with the hunters, and then they were able to free Jimeta and neighbors up to Ong and other places. They liberated them from Boko Haram. This is another model. Now, what the Adamawa State governor did under Bindao, there was a law that was passed. As a traditional ruler, I think it was even under Inyako, when they were having communal and religious crisis in Adamawa. There was a law that was passed by Inyako administration. If you're a traditional ruler and there is religious or community conflict, that you're going to lose your title, you're going to lose all the privileges, and you'll be sacked. And that was the end of religious conflict in Adamawa up to this moment. So if we're looking for solutions, now there is a community known as Duhu community in Adamawa State. I think under Boko Haram insurgency, there were a lot of killings. And what did they do? There was what was known as Kabara. This Kabara was more or less like a dialogue, forgiveness, reconciliation, and so on and so forth. And then the people were reconciled, and they forgave one another. There was no reprisal. So if we're looking for solutions, it's not about funds. It's not about funds. It's about what solution has worked where, how, so that we can tap those solutions. And there are a lot of them that I can mention on this program. So for you to say we should set up funds, is it funds that is the problem? No, it's not funds. What is lacking is not even the will. Because when you tell me there is no political will, I don't buy it. The same will we used to steal is the same will we need to work. So what the hell are you telling me that there is no will? There is a will. But what are we doing with the will? We are using the will negatively. We are not using it positively. So we have to redirect this will from the negative endeavors that we use it for to positive endeavors. The same will we need to use money to work is the same will we are using to siphon money through security vote. So are you telling me that there is no will? There is a will, but we are not willing to use it for common good. Now, in northern Nigeria, before now, if you are a visitor to any part of northern Nigeria, the first thing you do after you must have landed in the home of your host, you go to the local chief, to report yourself that, okay, I'm a visitor, and then in this part of the country, I'm going to stay for so. Now, what that does is that if you do anything that is not in tandem with the culture of the people can excuse you. And then the community can monitor you and report you to the appropriate authorities when you are not doing the right thing. Now, in Bauchi, a bandit from Zamfara came to the community, rented an apartment. He was there for more than 2 years. He was spending lavishly, buying beer for people. Nobody ever asked any question until he was trailed recently and he was arrested in Bauchi State. How can you have a neighbor that you don't know his source of income? He just came from nowhere. He's spending money. He's living lavishly, and you don't even ask questions. You don't report to any authority. So, look, the issues are just too many. We're not just ready. We're not just serious about anything. But I'm sure with the current spate of insecurity that is spreading, we'll be forced to have a rethink.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hamisu. Let's move on with Malam Bappa Waziri. As an expert when it comes to security matters, looking at there's a 228 billion naira trust fund. You made mention of a security vote, right? So understanding that these funds might not be able to be accounted for because at the end of the day, according to them, it is supposed to come directly from source. So it would be gathered immediately, it is dispensed or is meant to be dispensed into state government accounts or local government accounts. But aside from that, trillions of naira have been spent on insecurity in Nigeria. Where does this money go? How come it is not being utilized, and what impact does it have when it comes to synergy in our security outfits in Nigeria and the lack of capability that is seen at this point of not being able to deliver, making sure that there's security in the country?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's unfortunate that we have these leaders as our leaders, because these are leaders that don't want to solve any of our problems. They don't. I will not say, but I think what they do, they always want to even increase our problems by stealing our resources. Because by the time they leave us without resources, how do we solve the problems? Maybe the good ones are coming. When they come in, how will they use what they don't have to get a solution? So to be honest with you, what they did, we don't need that trust fund, the first one. Who are they going to fund with that trust fund? What activities are they going to fund? What are they going to buy? What kind of arms, ammunition, whatever, what are they going to buy? There's no state that can spend money to buy ordinary a drone to conduct surveillance in a state. I think there was a time Mala Nasser had something like that in Kaduna. You had a drone that can take the whole state in less than an hour. What happened to it today? And Kaduna, Birningwari is still under the same criminals. So what is happening? So the problem we're having is that we don't have good leaders that can sit down and solve our problems. That problem is not only our problem, it is their own problem also.
But do you think
they have their relatives.
Do you think that people are being put in place that don't have the capacity to make sure that things are being run? Just yesterday, we saw that the Minister for Defense...
Former CDS was invited?
Yes, he was invited, and then the Minister for Defense resigned as well. So do you think that it is the lack of capability, the capacity to be able to deliver what is necessary?
There are two things. One, maybe the person is not capable of delivering whatever they expected of him. The other one, maybe is just ordinarily a sycophant. So it's there protecting their own interest. He can't do anything other than what they told him. So at least these are the two key things. When you do things away, when you take it away and bring in the right thing, that is, bring in somebody that is capable, somebody that has a mind of his own, somebody that has the target. They want to hit that target at all the time, set of targets. I want to clear 5 local government within a year. I want to clear 20 states. He can do that. So with that target, I'm sure there are targets. There are also targets now as we speak by the military, the police, the army, all of them, they all have their own targets. But the problem is, how can they be assisted to achieve those targets? That's the issue. That's why the governor is supposed to come in. Talk to the brigade commander. Yes, what is your target in terms of security in this, let me say, in this December? okay, we're targeting 1, 2, 3 communities where we suspect there are some criminals. Okay, can we go and flush them out? You fund them. That's what they need. All they need may be allowances, maybe the one they're getting from the university is enough. So you support them. That's where you support as a state governor. Okay, support them, follow them, and make sure that at least the needed thing is done. But you cannot sit down here and say you are gathering money from source. Which source? Is it, are you removing it from Abuja? Or the money that you have been taking from local government, still want to take more? Because there was a point, I think in my state, where local government deduction is over 110%. I've never heard of that in this world. 110%. When you take 100% of what I have, I still have to borrow 10% and give you back. What happened if my allocation is not up to that next month? Why will I solve for the 10% again? And that 10% is fluctuating. When I have 10 billion, you give me 10% of 10 billion. When I have 5 billion, I pay 5% of 10% of 5 billion. So it's wrong. To be honest with you, it's unfortunate that we have this crop of people as leaders. It's unfortunate, and I'm sure it's a trial from God. And
all right, let me move to Dr. Hamisu. Let's look at the strategy and also the long-term solution in solving this issue. Now, beyond summits and short-term measures, what do you think should be the long-term strategies we can use as a country, putting our hands, our heads, and everything that we have for this country in tackling the insecurity issues that we're having, beyond having this frequent summit meetings and discussions? Hello, Dr. Hamisu, are you there?
In one word, I think the only solution is good governance. And when I say good governance, I'm not saying good governance in terms of building of road and bridges. No. I'm talking about human-centered approach to development, investment in people, creating opportunities for people. There is correlation between the material condition of a people, level of poverty, and then how they react, whether they have to be peaceful or not. There was a time in this country that you can travel from Lagos to Sokoto any time of the day, and you don't feel anything. Those were times that North has a lot of industries, and a lot of people were engaged. You have people moving between North and South, chasing their dreams, living. Now, when you stop people from the normal means, because what has been proven to be true sociologically is in anywhere in the world, the country defines how every member of society will access resources. And one of those is that everybody must work and get paid. Now, when you deny people the means to work, the jobs to do, and then you are billing them, and they are supposed to pay taxes, they are supposed to pay school fees, then they will resort to illegal means to make ends meet. So we must create jobs. We must create enabling environment for people to thrive. Now, average Nigerians are not asking for too much. What they're asking for is give us power supply. So as a welder, I have work to do 24 hours. As somebody who has grinding machine that is dependent on power, I could do that. I have refrigerator. I can sell sachet water. I need power to power my fridge. Now, if I'm ill, I can go to the hospital, affordable hospital. Now, go and check, when we have public service going for us in this country, the rate of corruption, the rate of abuse, the rate of crime was minimal compared to now, because public school was good. So I don't need 150,000 naira my salary to pay for my child that is in kindergarten. Today, reverse is the case. For me now, I need like 2 million to pay for my children that are in primary school. And my salary in public service, that is if I'm employed, right, is 200,000. Where do you think I'm going to get the extra? and we've killed public school. Where will I get the extra? Then we go to the hospital, the billing. It's unfortunate that today Nigerians are being detained in our hospitals. You go for treatment, they treat you, you don't have the money to pay, they hold you in the hospital until you're able to raise the money. So if I can go and kidnap to get that money, I will go and do it so that I can free my person that is in detention. So it's more or less like a father that does not care for his child, and he wants the child to behave well. He wants the child to grow to become a good citizen. Now, and I know that you are coming back home with dollars every day, and I cannot enjoy your wealth. If you go out of the house, I will break through your window, I will take the money illegally. So what is happening in Nigeria is that our leaders have deprived Nigerians for so long, even the little things that we need to survive. Healthcare, roads, education, power, most importantly, power. So if we don't fix all of these things, I bet you, no matter the funds, it will not solve any problem. Because arms anywhere in the world has never stopped criminal activities. No, go and check history. What has stopped criminal activities is economic activities that provide people with the means, with the capacity to earn legally and to spend. So if you think that buying of arms is what will solve the problem, you are mistaken. Go and check what happened in Niger Delta. Under Obasanjo, we were buying arms upon arms because some people were benefiting from those armed procurement. When Yaradua came, they gave him the same formula. He said, no, I would prefer to give this money to the people of Niger Delta rather than to buy arms that will kill them. And then we'll be benefiting the manufacturers of the arms. And then we're here battling ourselves. And he brought what? Amnesty. Did amnesty not solve that problem to some reasonable extent? So if northern governors are thinking in that direction, if they told me today that, okay, they are going to turn that funds to, say, 3 trillion naira investment fund that will revive our agricultural, all the industries in the north. The corridor is simple. It cut from Kaduna through Katsina, that is Funtua, to Sokoto. That was our corridor. So what are we going to do? Let us revive our industries. When you have large armies of persons going into the industry and they know that they have legal means to earn income, I bet you all of these things will fizzle away. But if we think that we are going to procure more arms so that we can combat them, when we have Libya, through which they are shipping arms into this country, A-grade military hardware that surpasses even what we have, and you think we can match that with more firepower, then we are mistaken. It means our strategy is wrong. So what we need to do is to ensure that Nigerians can realize their dreams and that the state is ready to support them. And it's because these guys know that the Nigerian state has deprived them, they've cheated them, and there is no hope. And that is why they devise the illegal means of earning money that we are crying today, that it is insecurity. Right. To them, it's a good business. And even those in power are using this insecurity to steal our money too. So head or tail, it's Nigerians that are bleeding, it's Nigerians that are losing. So let us put on our thinking caps and learn from other countries how to solve this problem. And I've just told you what we need to do. It's as simple as that.
All right, Alamafa, before we go, at this point, we know that the federal government has declared a state of emergency or national emergency on security in the country. And we've seen meetings, we've seen closed-door meetings, we've seen summits as well. But at this point, what is the first proactive measure that the federal government needs to do in order to start tackling this issue head-on and curb this resurgence and the spread of this insurgency?
Well, actually, the first thing is give the right instruction, give directives instantly to the military, to the police, because they're there on the ground. They know everything, they know everywhere. All we want is set targets for them. This December, whatever happened in November, I don't want any of it to happen again within December. So between now and 31st of December, I want to have a free and a clean month of December without any kidnapping, without any bandit taking action, without any problem in this country. And these are the target areas. You don't even need to mention them because they have it. On daily basis, they have their information, they have their plans, they have their programs. All you need is ask them how much do they need to implement those programs. Then you look at it. Authentically, genuinely, you give them what they need. Then you allow them to go. And with specific instruction, when you don't do it, we deal with you. That's it. It's either you do it or we take you off. That's it. And we give them target, that is what they want. We give them target, they will be very happy, very excited to go and exercise those things that is in them to implement and show you that, yes, we are capable of doing what you think we don't do. What you think we cannot do, we can do within the shortest possible time. That's what they need. They don't need any meeting in the boardroom, any summit, nothing. They don't need it. They already have plans. They already have programs on the ground. What they want is implementation. Implementation needs resources, needs support, needs, instruction. When you're giving directive, actually, within a blink of an eye, they will do it. And the Nigerian military is capable. All the security agencies in Nigeria, I know. I trust them. I have confidence. I know they will do it. We know they have bad eggs among them. But to be honest with you, when you talk about security organizations in Nigeria, go home and sleep, give them instruction and wait and see. You see what will happen.
All right, thank you very much for, shedding so much light on what is going on at this point that it has really affected a lot of Nigerian lives. Thank you very much, Bappa Waziri, for being here. And thank you very much, Dr. Abdulrahman Hamisu, for helping us unpack. Thank you so much.